Welcome back to From Simmer to Sizzle. You should know who we are by now, but if you don't, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Jacob.
And today we're going to show you how to make a sous vide steak because we're celebrating our 6-month anniversary.
Yeah, so we're going to do a real fancy way of cooking steak. We're also going to do some roasted potatoes and some sautéed asparagus and a couple of drinks to go with. But the first thing we got to do is get our steak ready because it's got to sit in the sous vide for a while. Sous vide is just when you vacuum seal it, you put it in a bag, seal it, and then put it into like hot water. And it has to be hot and circulated water constantly for a couple hours. For this one, it's probably going to take at least an hour because we just got 2 ribeye steaks. They're kind of thin. They should be fine, but it has to go 145 degrees for about an hour. And we've got to get that ready now. So this is the bag that we're going to put the steaks in.
Do you need some gloves?
Yep.
Gloves! Hey, director, person, can we have some gloves, please? Watch, it's going to show up in 3, 2, 1. I didn't get any gloves.
It's okay.
Can I throw them back?
No,
Okay.
just don't hit the light.
Oh wow, I got 5.
Okay, so before we put it in there, we want to put some salt and pepper on it.
Okay.
Just going to use some kosher salt. Alright. Some pepper.
How do you know it's enough now?
Hmm?
How do you know it's enough?
You just want a nice coating.
Is that good enough?
Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. Now, can you open that bag for me?
Should I take my gloves off? It's cross-contamination. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It is cross-contamination. Uh-oh.
It's not in the water to cook though.
It's cross-contamination. You don't cook the bag. It would melt.
Move the bag goes in the water.
Water bag.
Okay.
Oh, Jerry's gonna start yelling now.
Hold on. I'm not going to close it yet.
We're gonna add some rosemary. Is this just rosemary in here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to throw 2 sprigs of rosemary and 2 sprigs of thyme. Make sure it's completely sealed. There we go. Now we got a nice little vacuum sealer.
Oh wow. That's fancy.
There it is, vacuum sealed. And then that just goes into our, it's too damn tall. So we got our sous vide cooker at 129 degrees, not 145 like I said earlier. Sitting in a big old stock pot full of water that's just going to circulate. And there's our steak in that bag. And it's going to take about an hour. We got the lid on it to make sure that the water doesn't evaporate off. And we don't want to lose any water while we're doing this. Alright, so now we're getting started on our potatoes. We rinsed these potatoes. Now we're just going to chop them up, toss them in our pot and boil them. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's no real precise way to do it.
Just chop them up. Chop. And watch your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's getting tired.
It's okay, the last one.
Okay, that was fun.
Yeah, so now we got our potatoes all chopped up. We're gonna cover them with water. We want just about 1 inch of water over the top of the potatoes, and then they're gonna boil for about 10 minutes.
And then we're gonna roast them.
But we'll get to that when these are done boiling.
Yep.
Okay, so while we've got our potatoes getting ready to boil, we are going to make our drinks. So to go with like steak, you want something like a classic cocktail. Whiskey usually goes really well, or red wine, specifically Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know how to pronounce that. But it's like a bold red wine, and yeah. So over there, we've got. There's our wine. This is Cabernet from Argentina. It smells very fruity.
It's very good. I had.
Well, when you're pouring red wine, it's in a bigger, wider glass. You usually want to pour right into the center of the bowl. And then you can smell it better because of the shape of the glass. And there's one more. When I got some whiskey tasting tips from a neighbor once, and he said when you're smelling, you want to breathe in through your mouth and through your nose.
I never heard that. Oh wow.
Yeah. There's the red wine.
Is this one for me? And then you're making the whiskey?
Yeah, I mean, you won't like the whiskey anyway.
It's very fruity.
Yeah, it's a very fruity Cabernet. So for an old fashioned, all you got to do is put a sugar cube, or just like a teaspoon of sugar, a couple dashes of bitters that you don't want to get all over the counter. Then I'm going to take a muddler, pick up the sugar, mix it in with the bitters.
You don't need this. It's just holding the sugar cube.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I will need the bar spoon.
Okay. Smells very strong.
Then I'm going to pour in some whiskey. It's probably good for now. Because we just want to stir it up. Maybe just a little more. We want as much of the sugar to dissolve as we can get, but there usually is some left over anyway. They're nice to keep in.
Oh, where'd you get that thing?
Freezer? You won't like
I
it.
don't know what you
That's pretty good. I mean, it's whiskey forward because it's mostly just whiskey and bitters. But that's a very old cocktail. They call it an old fashioned for a reason. You know? Sounds like our potatoes are boiling, so I think we're ready to cut.
Yep.
Okay, we'll be right back. Alright, potatoes are boiled, and now we're going to put them into this bowl, toss them with seasoning and olive oil, put them on the tray, and bake them.
Yep. Roast them. I think
Roast
we're
them.
roasting
Yeah,
them.
roast them. That's the word for it.
Can I pour this stuff in here?
Not yet.
Okay.
Probably can't do all of these at once. We'll do a half batch. Alright.
All of it?
Most of it. That's good. Okay, we're going to pick off some of the needles from a couple sprigs of rosemary. We're not going to do all of it. We're going to save some for the rest of the batch. Alright, let's save the rest for the next one. Let's throw some thyme in there.
I'm gonna just warm off for that.
Throw a bit of parsley in there too.
Where did you get this recipe from?
I got this one from Kenji Lopez Alt. He's a pretty popular chef YouTuber, I guess. I don't know. I did a couple of his recipes before. I did The eggs Benedict is his recipe. The potatoes here are his recipe, and the steak we're following his recipe for that too. Okay. So now. Yeah, by tossing them, you want to, it roughs up the potatoes. You see how they're kind of a little bit mushed now? That creates more surface area for the oil to cling to, and then when it roasts, that gets nice and crispy. I've made these a good couple times with all kinds of different seasoning. I did one with shichimi togarashi, which is a Japanese, it's Japanese 7-spice seasoning. Shichimi togarashi. Shichimi togarashi. It's 7-spice seasoning that we made with some ramen and stuff once.
Raymond!
Uh-huh.
I like Raymond!
Okay, and we'll do the rest of them. So a little bit more olive oil. There we go. Parsley.
There you go.
Kosher salt. Pepper.
Did you do that for those? No?
Yep.
It's like a potato dance.
Mm-hmm.
These are gonna be so good! I'm excited. Now you need some sour cream. And some chives.
When we serve it, sure, but it's not done yet.
And some chives.
Let me get a spatula out. I need to,
I'm hungry. I haven't eaten tonight.
okay. I'm gonna get these spread out kind of evenly. Okay, now this will go in the oven, 450 degrees for 25 minutes. And then we're going to flip them, do another 25 minutes. So it takes a little while.
So now we're just chopping up our asparagus.
Yeah, we just want to chop off the bottom like inch or so, the tough part here. If it's, some of these are a little purple, so we're going to cut off to the point where it's not really purple anymore. Let's cut that one there. Right there. We're just getting the asparagus ready for when we saute them.
Ah.
Rough on the bottom. Let's cut What?
Why can't I cut it?
Why can't you cut it?
I don't know. You won't let me.
Wonder why that is.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Let's take this away. So that's the asparagus we're going to saute. We're going to toss it in a pan with some butter, some garlic cloves, and a little bit of like lemon juice because we want this to be a brighter flavor. We're going to have plenty of like salty, rich flavors from the steak and the potatoes. So I want this one to kind of go the other way and be nice, a bright flavor with some citrus to kind of balance the whole plate.
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, it is good. So,
I'm excited.
yeah, so when
Alright,
we
let's
cut
go
back,
saute
we'll
this
be
up.
over there. Okay, we're going to start sauteing our asparagus. We melted a tablespoon of butter. Let's put these in there. We might need to add a little bit more butter just to make sure that's enough because we got a good amount of asparagus here.
That's a lot. Should we put that much in at once?
It'll be fine
Okay.
because we're just going to be rolling it around the whole time, you know?
Yeah, and it just gets brown. Is it gonna pop?
Maybe a little bit.
It's already
So,
popping. Your extra butter's still in there.
oh,
Do you want
is it?
some extra butter?
If you need any.
Oh, yeah, it is. Here, hand me a knife. Okay. Not the knife I was expecting. This is a serrated knife
You want
used
this
to
one?
cut bread.
Do you want this
I
one?
was thinking
The
something
steak knife.
more like this, or
Oh.
just a simple paring knife.
Nikki, what have we told you about touching the knife?
It's gonna pop.
Okay, okay.
I wanna try it. He never lets me do anything. He just does all the cooking, which is fine with me. I don't care.
Well, do you want to do this?
Get you a boy that
Here, take
cooks.
the tongs.
I don't want to do nothing.
All right.
I just want to stand here and be a part of the show
Already smells good.
and do nothing.
All right.
This looks crazy.
I don't know how to do that.
So I peeled a couple of cloves of garlic. I'm just kind of cracking them to release some of the flavor.
I want to do that.
Hold on. Just toss it in there. Okay. Pepper.
Smells good.
Yep.
It's been a long time since I had asparagus.
I'm gonna toss some salt on there and some pepper.
Oh, it's starting to pop.
It's okay.
Yeah, it does that. The reason we're using butter is because butter is made with like some milk solids and fats that will provide a really nice char to the asparagus. And we're going to do the same thing when we sear the steak later. Sorry.
Are you drunk too?
Look, we made the drinks. I've been sipping on it a little bit. I'm doing all right.
I had 2 Bahama Mamas.
I'm having a good time. Bahama Mamas are notoriously strong,
Oh.
but the one you got is not.
Oh.
It isn't.
Like, when you make a Bahama Mama, it's got like 4 different kinds of rum in it.
Oh.
That's 3 or 4. It's ridiculously strong.
I feel like a balloon right
Hey, your arms now.
Okay,
now. No. Kind of, a little.
I'm gonna let this sit, hopefully pick up some color just by sitting here. So we have to saute it until it's like tender, because asparagus, before you cook it, it's pretty tough. So we just really have to go until it's like softened. And it might take a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, I'm gonna throw in some lemon juice.
Goodness.
Yep. It smells good.
Looks great.
Mm-hmm.
It smells wonderful. Thank you. Oh, wow.
Starting to pick up some color. That's good.
Yeah.
Look at that one. That color, that char, that's good. We don't want it to like burn, but we want it to get that nice darker color.
I don't like that. I'm out of it. This is going to be your show now.
Okay.
You're going home.
I'm not going nowhere. You're not getting rid of me.
We are getting there. Not too much longer, I think.
Do you think it's good now?
Yeah, probably.
I think
It's starting to get a little dark, so I'm probably going to pull it now. Cause
Yeah, it's
we don't
looking-
want it to burn, but
Yeah.
it is looking good.
It's looking pretty good. I think it's time to pull it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's our asparagus. Look at that.
Pretty cool, huh?
Alright, then the only thing left to do is to sear our steaks.
Yep. And then we can eat.
Yep.
I'm ready to eat.
Okay, so don't touch this handle, it's going to be real hot. Our sous vide steaks are done. These are cooked all the way. They just need a sear. So what we're going to do is take this out. I know it doesn't look very appetizing, but it is done.
We're going to pat it dry.
Mm-hmm. Take those aromatics off.
That doesn't look very good.
No.
Don't want to eat that. I'm not
I
hungry.
know.
I'm not hungry anymore.
Might need more paper towels.
Uh-oh.
You want to make sure this is dry.
I gave you a work surface.
On the cutting board?
What do you want to
Fine, I'll be in the way. Then you can't see Nikki now.
That's fine. That's how I like it.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Nobody believes that.
So when we put this into the pan, it's going to get really smoky because we have oil in the pan, in our cast iron pan, and we are going to sear it at very high heat. And it's not going to take very long.
What kind of
Plus
oil?
a tablespoon of butter.
What kind of
This is
oil?
avocado oil
Why?
because it has a higher smoke point, higher heat tolerance. Okay, I'm also tossing in some sliced shallots and some crushed garlic, a couple sprigs of thyme,
Pop it real good.
and rosemary.
Oh my goodness. It smells like a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Smells like you just walked into a restaurant after a long day of shopping.
This restaurant called Simmer and Sizzle.
Like a mall. Yeah. But I don't work there. I just get all the money.
There's no money in it.
Yeah.
Oh, it does smell good.
Oh, it smells so good. Oh.
That looks good.
I have that one.
We got some good char on this. I'm gonna keep moving it around a little bit. I mean, we don't want to move the steak around, but we want to make sure that we get the shallots and the garlic and the rosemary and thyme. We want that to impart all its flavors onto the steak while it gets a good char from the pan. So we don't want to move the steak. We want to make sure we can baste all the other stuff.
Not quite for the next one?
No, I'm gonna leave that.
Okay. We can make this meal at home. We're doing it.
Yeah, but you need a sous vide cooker.
You just
Not
need
everyone
it.
has that.
What could you do instead? Is there any other way? Or?
Cook
No.
it in cast iron. Cook the whole thing in the cast iron.
Yeah, you could. I mean, it's easy enough to just sear a steak in cast iron at high heats. You know, it's a pretty common way of doing it, just like we're doing it now.
Yeah.
Some people cook in there and then they put it in the oven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but what we're doing is we cooked it in the sous vide first.
Oh, look at that one.
So this cooking in the sous vide retains all the juices.
Yes.
So this will be a very juicy steak
I'm ready.
with a nice sear on it.
I'm excited.
Now, this steak is very, very thin, but with a thicker steak, you would want to sear the edges like I'm doing here. Pick it up and hold it on its side for 30 to 45 seconds to get a nice sear on the edge. But this steak is really thin, and there's not much of an edge to sear to begin with. I'm still doing it, but there's not much seared.
It's popping
Yes, it is.
like crazy.
The last time I cooked sous vide, we smoked the whole house out. So
But
we're
now
using
with
a better
avocado
oil.
oil.
Yeah. All right.
I
These are
think-
probably ready to come
Yeah,
off.
they look pretty good. Everything is so good.
So we got everything done. We got our steak seared, our asparagus sautéed, potatoes roasted. This steak, normally, you know, if you have a thicker steak, that's what sous vide is really good for, because it would be seared on the outside but still like red or very pink on the inside. This one's pretty thin, so it's not. It doesn't have that color on the inside, but it's still good.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, she doesn't like it when it has pink on the inside, but
Delicious.
yeah, it's got some really good flavor from the sauté that we got on there.
I recommend making this one at home, guys. Do it.
Yeah, we were cooking it. It smelled like a steakhouse.
It smelled like a restaurant. Uh-huh. Did you get the crispy edge?
On the potatoes. Yeah,
Yeah.
the potatoes are nice and crispy on the outside, but they're soft on the inside. That's what we get from roasting it like that, you know. the skin, it's like, it's very crisp.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Let's see, which one should I do? Bahama Mama or one? Thank you.
Bye. This is good.